Let me go to a tabloid scenario here. I think back over the last 30 years, I think of the tabloids. It's the Playboy bunny marries the super old guy, right? And everyone says, oh, well, she's just obviously marrying for the money, and let's say that he lives and they get divorced. Is what happens typically to that tabloid scenario? Does the Playboy bunny get a whole bunch of money, or not necessarily in a typical state, even if there's, let's say, no prenup? And what you're telling me is probably they don't necessarily get a whole lot.
Well, I'm going to give you the typical lawyer answer, which is it depends.
Sure, it depends.
It depends. In those situations, they're probably going to get something. They're probably going to get something.
And why, though? What is the equitable part of that? Because they were married and assets accumulated. How does that happen?
A big part of it is going to be the accumulation of assets during the marriage. And so a lot of people say, well, he had the business before they got married, but he's still earning money from that business during the marriage itself. And the default of that money is going to be that it's marital.
Right. Okay.
I mean, he could try to argue that it's just market forces, but the kind of default position is that a paycheck, a dividend, the money that is coming in, if you want to prove that it's something is your separate property, it's your burden to prove that it's your separate property. The presumption is that it's marital. So all of the money that, that old rich guy got, during the marriage is going to be considered marital. And, if nothing else, the litigation dragging on is worth some kind of payment to him.
Right.
In reality,
that can be $1 million. That can be $1 million bill right there. Litigation.
Right. The litigation bill can be $1 million. I've worked on a case myself here in the state of Georgia where our client paid over $1 million in fees on his own. Just for legal fees. And I think that's like one of the underrated benefits of a prenup. Most people think about a prenup as protecting the assets that you're bringing into the relationship, but it is also insurance against the divorce case itself, actual litigation. That can be very real money. That can be very real money. The average divorce case takes on average over 12 months. In COVID days, it's more like 18 months. And the average cost of a divorce is $15,000 per spouse in a contested divorce. And that's just the average. So as I would tell my clients, that means about half of the people are paying more than that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it can get, astronomical. And the more money that you have when you are going through a divorce, the tendency is the more expensive that divorce case is going to be because the more there is to fight over. And so the cost of a divorce and, hence the need for a prenup is not so much a function of what you have coming into the marriage. It's what you have going out.